There are 9 hot springs dotted along a 23-mile stretch of road in the Boise National Forest, and we're calling it Hot Spring Alley. If you're coming from the southwest, you will first run into Twin Springs Hot Springs Resort. This one is a privatized natural hot spring that delivers thermal waters to your cabin. We had our van to stay in, and Georgie, our cat, so we skipped right on by. The official first hot spring for us was then Sheep Creek Hot Springs, and we arrived by bike because we were camping down the road at Willow Creek Campground for a few days and just needed an excuse for getting on the bikes.
The water comes down from up there, and by the time it gets to the pool, it honestly wasn't that hot, but it was super relaxing after a 9-mile bike ride from our campground. Maybe not advised because we still have 9 miles back in the cold. But there's 3 pools. We kind of built up one of them a bit more, and there's only honestly room for 1 or 2 people here, I would say. But it's really nice views. We saw a bald eagle. It's just below the bridge here on Deep Creek Bridge.
The second set of hot springs is called Smith Cabin Hot Spring. This one is set directly below the road on the road side of the river. However, there are a few more mini pools on the other side of the river. If you want to try and enjoy these ones too, you will need to ford the river to access them.
All right, this one's really pretty, but it's burning hot, and it's going to take a lot of work to get it to the right temperature.
Okay, here we are. It's getting warmer. Let's test out this guy. There's just too many hot pockets that just you can't do anything with because it literally burns you. Whew. And then it's too cold, too hot, too cold. Nothing in between. There's no just right. I'm heading back over, and Heather's been working on something over there, so hopefully it's good for the both of us. Unfortunately, this place was a flop. Heather did some work over here and it just didn't do the trick.
It was too burning hot on one side and ice cold on the other, and then if you sat in the middle, you like ruined the
yeah, it just never mixed well.
mixing.
And same when I was over there, it just did the exact same thing. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to move on and hope that the next set of hot springs is our ticket.
It must be really nice though at some point because it is built up, so whether there needs to be more water or what, or the temperature fluctuates. I don't know enough about hot springs.
But as of today, it's not working out for us. Oh well. Now this next hot spring is called Loftus Hot Spring, which was probably one of our favorite of the whole hot spring alley. This one was a properly built up pool made from cement bags butted up to a lovely waterfall. It does truly give you an oasis style vibe to sit back in and enjoy. One side note, however, it does seem like large groups of people come here due to the amount of trash and poo buckets left everywhere. Just make sure and do your part, pick up after yourself, and follow proper pooping practices so that others after you don't have to look at your nasty poo or get some kind of crazy nasty disease. But nonetheless, this is still a pretty awesome hot spring to sit back in and just relax. Following Loftus Hot Spring is Vaughn Hot Spring, which is an incredibly beautiful cascading hot spring flowing down over the mountainside. On the other side of the river though. Good old Willie's just chilling over there, just a hip hop and a skip away. The river is pretty strong through this section and probably isn't advised to attempt the traverse if the water is high. Obviously, risk assess the situation and attempt at your own risk. This is gnarly.
Definitely wouldn't do it. If I was by myself.
We felt it to be okay using each other as support. Upstream was a bit harder crossing than downstream for us. Anyways, this waterfall hot spring was really nice. It provided a nice mix of really hot water and cold river water. You can really enjoy this one. Just get super hot before making the trip back to the car. This next one is sort of a, locals pool, as it is technically part of the same system of Vaughn Hot Spring, but very much so its own spring. It is called Eagle Nest Hot Spring. Do you think this one's gonna be worth it?
I hope it's hot because it looks nice.
Wow, it's properly built up, isn't it?
Yeah.
This one sits up above Vaughn Hot Spring and has a killer view. literally. If you fell, which it seems easy to do, you would be seriously injured or worse.
I feel like if I fell over there, I'm down the cliff no matter what.
Yeah.
If I fell here, it might just hurt my butt.
This hot spring has been built up, has a pipe to let water out, and has a cement lip around the small 1 to 2 person tub to hold the super hot water coming in off the rock face. So what's your opinion?
Too hot to actually get in and soak and enjoy, but the view is incredible. And I'm just doing this, keeping myself warm, which is fine for the view in itself. Dreading that trek across the river though.
Once you're all toasty, scramble down the hillside and traverse the river at your own risk. That's a fun way of doing it. The 6th hot spring is technically not named, but it is a really cool, lesser known spring as it sits across the river as well.
We got back on the road to head to the other hot spring and found a new one across the river. Jay took the drone up to see what it looked like, and it looks like there's like a river hot spring maybe. The river is a lot like more shallow, it looks like, from here to cross there and then walk over to that area.
This time the river is quite mellow and traversing is pretty laid back. Once you get across, you can walk along the small stream that the hot spring provides and let it lead you down to where the river meets it. Here you will find a handful of different dammed up pools to sit in and be able to regulate your perfect temperature. Doable?
Yeah, it's nice down here.
Ooh. This one is a good one for the possibility that it is if like other hot springs along the way are filled up with people or it's too difficult to cross the river at a downstream location. You could likely access it and have your own set of springs all to yourself.
Feels so perfect. This is a good one.
I thought that was too hot right there.
No, it's so nice.
Well, if you enjoy it, it makes me happy.
Oops. Ready to freeze your nuts off?
Yeah, Toots.
Whee!
That's what I live for. One of the best feelings after getting out of a hot spring and then traversing the river, freezing river, is like when you feel all that blood just rushing back into your legs.
That's so good.
It's like, 30 degrees outside, it really isn't that bad.
Yeah.
The 7th hot spring, named Browns Creek Hot Spring, was the last one that we went to. This one was a little more on the sketchy side for us, and seeing that it was pretty much dark when we arrived and the river was flowing quite hard, we decided against getting in this one. We didn't want to take any risk on this one. However, we saw some elk, and that was pretty cool at the spring. The last 2 on this list we unfortunately didn't have the time to get to, but after doing some research online, they seem pretty rad. Dutch Frank Hot Spring has quite a few pools and easy access from the road, as there is a bridge. You can then walk a short distance on a single track path to the beautiful spring. The 9th and final hot spring on this list for Hot Spring Alley is called Granite Hot Spring. This one is a lovely hot spring that has a few pools with a nice path leading up to it. It even appears that you can camp right at the doorstep of the spring. If anyone has ever visited the last 2 on this list, please let us know how they actually were, especially for others who are viewing this video. I'm sure everyone would love to know. Well, thanks for watching. We would love it if you showed some love and support by liking this video, leaving a comment, and even subscribing for future uploads about van life, travel, gear reviews, and just about everything in between. Cheers.